Catherine from the Lady Critics Library, and I'm here to bring you a book review for The Agency, A Spy in the House by Y.S. Lee, who is also a Canadian author, which rocks. So, bonus points. Anyways, this is a very, very long overdue review, and I'm like, seriously, very. I got this as an audiobook way back in December, before Christmas, from an online library, and yeah, it took me a couple days to actually get through because I would start listening to it and fall asleep. But I really, really liked it, so I guess sped through it. Not sure how many hours it was off the top of my head, I can't remember. But anyways, so after that, of course, I went out and I bought a copy of my own. This is the UK edition. I hate the fact that this first book does not match the cover of the two other ones that I got. So I am more than likely going to be very bad while in New York and try and get the 3 books with the North American hardcover cover. Yeah. Because then they will match. But of course, I'm still going to keep my UK edition because it's pretty. It is. Even though it doesn't match. It really pisses me off. Anyway, so back to the book. This is about a girl named Mary Quinn, there we go, who lives in Victorian England. She is an orphan, and she grew up, well, you know, almost orphans do, but this lady came and she saved her and she took her to the school where she started to teach these other girls, and then, the big kicker, she gets asked to come into the fold of these, like, special secret secret service women, and basically becomes a spy. Duh, spy in the house, that's in the title. So she gets sent to live with this family who has all these secrets, which I'm not going to divulge. Basically, she is meant to be a companion for their daughter, who, oh my god, if I had magical powers, I would turn into a pig, because this girl was a biatch. Like, she was rude, which made reading her listening about her really fun, but still. Anyways, she meets this guy while she's there, and he's also, you know, getting in on the action. Not that kind of action. With investigating this family and all of the weird goings-ons that's happening. So there's a budding romance, but it's not like full-blown, because, you know, she's an orphan and a servant, and he has a title, as far as I remember. Like, remember, this is right now the end of April. It has been 4 months since I listened to this audiobook. So I am so rusty. Like, this is how far behind I have fallen in my reviews. So bear with me. I apologize. Anyway, back to the book. So, the characters in this book were lovely. I mean, I loved listening about Mary, and listening is just really awkward to say, so I'm going to revert to reading, even though, keep in mind, this was an audiobook. She just has this amazing voice to her, and, you know, she has all of these inner thoughts that make you laugh, and you're like, you never get away with saying that in real life, due to her station in life. But anyways, it was fantastic. I mean, things would happen and I'd be like, why did that happen? Really? I didn't expect that. That makes me sad, but at the same time, what a twist. There were a few things that were a little predictable, and I did call from about a third of the way through the book, but I don't know, it's just, I really enjoyed it. Like, I really enjoyed the audiobook, and if you have a chance to get this audiobook, because the narrator is fantastic, and according to Y.S. Lee, she is also not actually British, and she does a British accent through the entire thing, which is amazing. And like, I'm not British, so I guess I'm not really, you know, an authority on it, but I couldn't tell. Like, I would have never guessed that she was not, in fact, from the UK and legit had an accent, because she pulled it off so brilliantly, I thought. But yes, no. So, the book was fantastic. I have a feeling that if I had actually read it as opposed to listened to it, I would have just sped right through it. Which is a kind of, I think, part of the reason why I haven't read the second or the third books, even though I have them, is because I have barely had time to do anything. Hence, you know, the video from a book that I read in December. I honestly would not, I don't think, have the time to sit down and give the next two books the full attention that they would deserve and speed through them and read them both, like, in one sitting, because I have a feeling they are going to be that amazing, because that was how amazing this book was. And it made me sad every night when I'd try and, like, pick up where I'd left off and fallen asleep, because it was hard, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to, like, go too far back, because it's really long and I wanted to finish it, but I didn't want to, like, miss anything where I might have been, like, in and out of sleep. So yeah, apparently audiobooks are not a good idea when falling asleep. No. But anyways, so I loved the historical aspect of this novel. I'm going to admit I am not really a historical fiction reader, whether it's young adult or adult. I don't know, I seem to gravitate more towards the current times, no actual set time type of book, with a few exceptions, and this is definitely going to be one of them. I am so looking forward to what happens in the next two novels, because I can't picture it getting worse, which means it's going to get better, and that's just, wow, blowing my mind. So yeah, what else did I cover? Oh my gosh, this is one thing I hate about doing video reviews, because I start rambling and then forget what I was saying. Okay, so let's list it off, shall we? Fantastic characters, like the characters from the main character Mary to the runner boy that the main love interest, whose name is James, by the way, gets, to all of the servants that are in the house. Like, fantastic. Mary is just such a warm embodiment of a person in this novel, and she really honestly wants to do good and try and help everyone that she can, and you can just see how much it hurts when she's not able to. Really fantastic. James is just, like, swoon galore. I can't wait to see more of him. There better be more of him in the next two books. And then, I mean, you have these horrible characters you just want to slap. But they're so well written. Like, it's just, the characters are just so well done, in my opinion, that it really made the reading experience that much better. Setting is fantastic. I mean, like I said, I'm not big into the historical thing. I'm not a huge history buff, but everything, it just flowed so well together, and it was so well described, and you could just visualize this, like, what was going on. It also brought into the book little side plot lines, I guess you could say, that Mary was a part of, that also brought into view the kind of political standings that would have been legitimate at the time, and the racism that was in place at the time towards, specifically in this novel, people of Asian descent. So it was just, I don't know, there was just, it was woven so well together. It wasn't just focusing on, oh, this is a historical spy novel. It was like, this was a novel that takes place in Victorian England, where all of this stuff was happening, and the character is a spy. Like, super cool. So characters, plot. Oh my god, I don't know what I'm missing. I really should have thought this out better before I started filming. But yeah, so characters and plot, fantastic. The writing itself was beautiful. I mean, listening to it was just fantastic. I can only imagine that actually seeing it and kind of having the internal voice as opposed to the narrator on the audiobook would have made it just that little bit better. I do generally tend to prefer, real books as opposed to audiobooks, but that's just me. So the writing was brilliant. It was so well done. And did I say plot? I said setting, didn't I? Anyways, the plot, I found that the pacing of the story itself was done really, really well. I mean, there were a lot of small components that were brought together in this novel, and at times you kind of wondered how they were all going to fit, but they did. It was wonderful. Like, it was a brilliantly assembled puzzle, and I don't know, it was actually very impressive to be reading this and being like, oh, so that from way back then now fits in here, and again fits in later here. And it's just, I mean, there didn't appear to be something that was kind of mentioned once and thrown aside. Like, everything had a relevance to it that was in the story, which is great because there are times when that isn't necessarily the case. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say on this book. I'm going to give it a 8 out of 10. I know I gave it a 4 out of 5 star rating on Goodreads. I'm going to say about an 8.5 out of 10. For me, I definitely will be rereading this series. Especially, I think I'll want to do a refresher before I read the next 2 novels. And especially after because I know I'm going to do it because I am honestly just such a head case that way. I will more than likely, as long as I can, be buying the first 3 novels in hardcover at the Strand while I'm in New York City for BEA in a month. Oh my god. Okay, a little more than a month, but I think it's like 38 days or something. That I will be there, not, before the actual convention starts, because I will be there a couple days early. But anyways, so yeah, I will be scouring, and if I don't find it at the Strand, I'm gonna Google that shit and find out where all of the really good used bookstores are in New York City, and you bet that I will be looking for other copies of these novels. And if I can find, this is a very big if, but if I can find the paperback UK copy like this one that matches the second and the third ones that I have, I'll be buying it too. Like, I'm prepared to have multiple copies of this book. I did enjoy it that much. So yeah, that's it for me. I will see you next time. I have a feeling that the next few reviews are going to be videos just because I am honestly like 20 books behind in books that I have to review that I really need to review, and some of them are still from 2011. So yes, that is it for me. I will see you guys all next time. Leave a comment. Let me know if you're going to be in New York City for BEA too, because I am honestly just like so freaking excited, and I can't wait to meet everyone or reconnect with them or whatever have you. So it's going to be really good. And if someone knows, can you please tell me, for registering for the Book Blogger Con, which I think this year has a new name, but anyways, how do I go about that? Because I've already registered for BEA. That was problematic enough. If you've seen one of my last, like, IMM videos, you will know. Anyway, if someone knows, I know you can register for the Book Blogger Con after you've gotten your BEA registration. The only thing is, it keeps either taking me to do it for both at the same time, or it's not letting me log on to do it by itself. So can someone please tell me if this is actually possible, or if I'm just going to have to like wait and register when I'm actually at the convention center or whatever, because that will just be so much easier. Yeah, so let me know. This is a great book, A Spy in the House, an agency novel by Y.S. Lee. You should go out and read it, because even if you're not a big historical fan like I wasn't, it's fantastic. So, it may make a believer out of you. Anyways, I'll see you guys all next time, and until then, happy reading. Bye, everyone.